am here with Lloyd Bumstead today, and you might want to check out another video that we did recently where we talked about the fact that his shop, the Bumstead's Bike Shop, is 115 years old, or if you count it another way, it's almost 120 years old. It's the oldest continuously owned bike shop in America. And I wanted to talk today, Lloyd, about the choice of the Trek brand. Um, you've been a Schwinn dealer, you've been a Trek dealer, you carry a lot of other brands besides Trek, but
Yes.
your lead brand is Trek. And I just wondered, it's an iconic brand, it's the number one brand in America in terms of bicycle shop brands, but why is it that you've been so loyal to Trek over the years? Why haven't you at least carried a second big brand. Like I won't mention the other brands out there, but you could have had a second big brand, but you've stayed with
Sure.
Tech as your primary.
You know, uh, for some of the same reasons that we're this small family bike shop, obviously Trek's not small, but if anybody knows the history of them, they like to say they started in a barn in Wisconsin. And to this day, it is family owned. It's still there in Wisconsin. They've grown to this billion-dollar company, but they still treat their dealers like family. They're invested in us being a partner with them, not just somebody to sell product to. And I appreciate that. And again, I also appreciate the value you get. Yes, they have the most technologically advanced bikes on the planet, but they also have just in their meat and potatoes good value. They spend money on engineering. So many companies these days, it's so easy to cut costs and just cookie cutter. Yeah, we'll make a basic bike. It's easy. We can make a good profit. Done. They get in there, they have race teams, they go out to local events, they sponsor local riders, and they send their engineers out to figure out the new innovations, but also the problems people have with their bikes. How can we make a better bike in general? And they're always striving to have the best value for their dealerships and their customers. And I love that. And they have a lot of support for us that the consumer won't see on the back end. They have training for us, technical stuff. They help us with managing our business and assessing our financials and just a good company. And I love that they also are family run.
Hmm.
So that just
And
a good company to stick with.
and in general, as we talked about in the other video, which we will put a card up for that other video so people can go check that
Okay.
out. Um, with the Trek brand, you have a wide variety of product. And that means that they not only sell the 10, $15,000 bike at the top end, but they do have bicycles all the way down to getting very close to even department store prices. Maybe $100 more than a department store bike, which is not nearly the quality, won't give you nearly the serviceability. So is that has to be, I guess, one of the reasons you like them because they can fit your customers to a T because they have so many choices.
Yes, wide variety. But it's hard to, there's kind of a point. So you mentioned down to the lower end, close to the department store bikes. And yes, at a certain point, they draw the line and go, our bikes mean quality. We can't go much lower. Um, so yeah, if the only place you've seen bikes would be the Targets and the Walmarts, as you're walking by and you see the price tags, you might get a little bit of a sticker shock when you walk into a bike shop if you haven't been. But yes, you don't need to associate Trek with just the $10,000 bike.
Right.
You can walk in here and buy a $500 bike. You can buy kids' bikes all the way down to little toddler bikes that are in the hundreds of dollars. So And the advantage of paying a little bit extra at a bike shop is the quality of the service, the build. I can't tell you how many times I've walked into it. We're in Target with the wife, and you got to walk over and look at the bikes and the assembly. I shake my head and go, wow, that's scary, just scary. And it's not that the quality of the bike is so horrible, it's that it wasn't put together properly. And the mechanic in me is just like, no, that brake is horrible. So yes, with good company, wide range of products. And if you walk into a shop and you're greeted with a nine or $10,000 bike, ask, okay,
Yeah, surely you have.
where's the bike I'm interested in? Can
Right.
lead me to the back of the store where the reasonably priced bikes are, please. It's
Exactly.
okay to ask that.
Yeah, and for most people, if they're wanting to get into an entry level bike, they're going to spend an entry level bike, or even this, maybe even the second level bike. They're still going to be spending under $1,000, which is
Yes,
pretty
entry level for us is $500 to $1,000.
right, and
Yes.
that's pretty good when you consider all the inflation. You and I have
Oh,
joked,
yes.
we and I
We've
have
talked
joked about
about that
yeah,
for years, right? It was $300, $400 back 20, 30 years
it's
ago.
right.
So now to only be $500, uh,
Nothing
not much
else.
inflation at all there. Yeah, it's much a lot of value. A
A lot
lot
of
of value for
a
your
lot of
money.
value. Yeah, and again they would have so that we're complete here. Not only do they have a lot of variety within, say a road bike, a lot of different road bikes, all the way from racing to that $500 entry bike or $600 entry bike, but also whether it's mountain bikes, gravel bikes, comfort bikes. I mean, they got, all the different kinds of bikes that anybody would be interested in.
Yes. And I think that sometimes that's where, especially if you get confused by that, you're not an avid cyclist, these terms get thrown around, such as gravel bike. And I've had customers walk in asking for a gravel bike because they heard all the bike guys talking about their new gravel bikes. And I've had a few, they don't have a clue what that is. And we start showing them that, and you can see the look on their face. And so then you start asking them, well, what do you plan to do on your bicycle? Where do you see yourself riding? When was the last time you were on a bike? And if you find a shop that asks those questions and are truly interested and don't just, keep trying to sell you a gravel bike when obviously that it's not going to fit your needs, then you need sometimes somebody to kind of help you with that and find you the appropriate bike for what you're wanting to do, because it can be very confusing. We talked about a while back of, back in the 70s, you had a 10 speed, you had a regular bike, a cruiser, maybe a 3 speed. There weren't a lot of choices. It was pretty simple. Like in everything now, nothing's simple. There's so many choices, and it helps to maybe have somebody at the local bike shop show you the different kinds of bikes, test ride a few different models and types, and whether it's a fitness bike, a gravel bike, a road bike, a mountain bike, a hybrid, hear the term hybrid bike. So yeah, have somebody help you narrow down what style of bike, because there's just so many now.
So
And
if you are in the neighborhood, drop into Ontario. People do drive. Sometimes
oh yeah.
many, in California, it's not that hard to, drive 50, 60 miles. So if you're in a radius that's comfortable for you to make the trip, you should drop into Bumstead's. You will be getting tremendous value. You'll be dealing with top brands, and you'll get amazing, amazing personal customer service probably from Lloyd most of the time.
Probably from me. I still work here every day.
Right. Thank you, Lloyd. It's been great having this conversation with you.
Thanks, Randy.